Hello, everybody. My God, guys, how are you? Wow. So I don't know when that's gonna go on. Hello, everybody. So, guys, okay, I had to cut my hair. It was kind of tragic because I got this new hair like from time to time. I like to do this vintage hairstyle. I don't know why. I just because I really like this hair. The hair dryer thing I have that is like a comb, but I found a skinny one, and I'm gonna tell. Okay, I just gonna get it 1 second. Okay, just to show you, just to warn you. Okay, in case it happens to you. Okay. I'm gonna 1 second. Okay. So, oh, so this is the. This is not the one I use. I just got it today in the mail. It's very inexpensive. I thought, oh, I'm gonna just make a little hair, like not curls, little rolls. So I twirled the hair around it, the hair length. And look at this, guys, my hair that I had to cut off. How much hair I lost. So it got tangled. Can you imagine? As you know, I already have issues with hair in terms of like, my hair at some point was falling. And now, but it actually worked out because I had to cut. You see here, this is what I cut off. Actually looks nice. Thank God. I was like, oh my God. So it got tangled. And I had to like, because it was inside it got tangled in the barrel. So I had to cut it off. I just couldn't remove. Can you imagine? It got tangled. So I had not read the instructions. It said in the instructions, do not put your hair more than twice around it in order to, or it could get tangled. And that's what it was. It got tangled. And I just I was like, for like, I don't know how many minutes, I was like trying to untangle the hair and it was like stuck. It was a nightmare. So just so you know. So anyway, but it worked out. It was just like the end, this part here, the end here. Right. Yeah. So no, and then I used guys, the Revlon thing that is like a hair brush and a hair dryer at the same time. That's the thing I use. I love it. So that fixed it. And I'm like, I actually realized my hair is looking thicker. Have you noticed? I think it looks thicker than before. So that's good. Anyway, so I'm having a little candy. So guys, can you believe it? I was like, it's so funny. Anyway, so I'm having a little candy and my meds are still, it's okay. I'm okay. I'm relatively okay. So anyway, so guys, today, oh my God. Today, let's talk about, I know I kept posting about that case. I kept posting about the case and it was like, can you believe it? But I think, guys, it really, right, it looks better, right, guys? I do have to say my hair is naturally frizzy, so I use the hair dryer thing. It works out, but it looks better. I have noticed. Have you noticed? Look, this is the area where I'm a little bit bald here. It's growing, you see? So I think it's going back. I really think so. No, I'm not back on Twitter. I got the link like on, I don't know how I found it, to be honest with you. What was it? I think it was because I'm on Reddit. So it was posted on Reddit, I think. And that's how I found it. Okay, but I'm not back on. I don't know why. I guess it's because of Elon Musk. I find him so it's very, very, and there's so many right-wing people. I'm on Reddit, so that's how I find how did I find it out? Oh, I know why. Oh, so there's somebody in the group named Katie Z, and so it was interesting. So I posted the thing. I talked about this a little bit on, when was it? It was on Monday. Then she posted something. She just posted something like, the connection between if you read a little bit more about this, it's going to lead to Barr. And I was like, oh, I swear, how I'm like, sometimes people are such conspiracy. I was like, may really? I was like, because it's, guys, so much of it sounds like a conspiracy theory, right? It doesn't sound real. And then, so I went on Google and I typed Barr and the name of the FBI agent. And it took me, this woman, guys, she's very good. Although some of it is very detail oriented. Her name is Marcy Wheeler. She has a blog called Empty Wheel. She's on Twitter. That's the link, the thing that I linked to. So anyway, so it came up what she had posted about it, about the attorney that is the attorney for Charles Mcgonigal. So guys, and I was like, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I can't believe it, but it's like, oh my God. Okay, that's it. Katie Z. That's her. She said it. I was like, no, really good. I was like, oh, come on, like really, Barr? Like, but it really, 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 really. So she has this blog, guys. She's very like national security, and like some things are like, I don't always agree with her, but she's all about receipts. She's all about receipts. She reads all the legal documents and all the things, and it's a kind of like a legal person. Some of it is, so, but can you believe it really? Like, so the guy, so basically, so that's what we want to talk about today. Like, I'm going to show you guys, God, when I think about, when you think about it, it's like, wow, is it real? But the good thing is I forgot, I think, it was Christine may have left a comment. I think it was, that said something. She said something like, you know what, like, it is a lot, but at least it feels like we're getting to the bottom of it. Sorry, guys. Again, if you just got here, I warned you guys about this thing that I had to come. It got tangled. Okay, so I posted it yesterday. Just go on the thing I posted today, right? I linked to it. Okay, if you click on the link, it goes to the thing I posted yesterday. And if you go on the thing that I posted yesterday, it links to the Twitter thread by Marcy Wheeler. So, okay, so that's how I got it. Okay, so let me, guys, sorry, I'm like, I don't know why, I guess I'm distracted, because I'm sorry, but I'm gonna get started. And this time is gonna be intense because I'm gonna show you a lot of different articles. I'm gonna get started because it links. Okay, it's even not quote unquote psychic things. It's just like connecting the dots on what's public. Okay, so I'm gonna start. So individuals asking about this. So I'm gonna go to the post I posted yesterday, which is okay, 1 sec. Okay, so I'm gonna start. Okay, so share screen. Okay, so I'm sharing. This is from what I posted on Patreon yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? I don't remember. So this was yesterday, 2 p.m. So I posted here is sort of connecting FBI agent indicted for Russia sanctions violations to Bill Barr. It turns out the attorney representing Charles Mcgonigal is Seth Ducharme. Seth is none other than a former Bill Barr appointee at DOJ who worked to protect Giuliani and created the both sides probe by Durham to distract from the Mueller report. So here is, I'm gonna click here. This is a click on Twitter. I deleted my account, but I can go on there, I guess. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. So this is this. So she has about, I'm not gonna go to her blog right now, but this is the thread that she had. So one of the most interesting details about Charles Mcgonigal case revealed today. He's represented by Bill Barr's former aide, Seth Ducharme, who had his hands in a whole shit ton of corrupt Billy Barr stuff. In New York, one of the Rudy prosecutors is on the team against Mcgonigal. Ducharme had a very significant role in Barr's efforts to kill the investigation into Rudy while still accepting dirt on Hunter Biden dealt by known RU-backed agents. Ducharme also had a key role in setting up the spectacularly unsuccessful Durham investigation. So what she does, guys, let me see here. Let me see if it links. Okay, I'm gonna stop share just to go to her blog, okay? Okay. So this is her blog, Empty Wheel. Okay. And then here is so I this is important. I have to share this information with you because like it links, she connects all of this. And again, it's not like it's no conspiracy theory, it's facts. Okay. So she here, okay, so start here with okay. So this is one of our older, like January 21st, so like a few days ago. So we know that Deripaska has been under invest. I mean, people have been talking about it for a long time. He's been on the sanctions list, but recently, it was in December, there were indictments related to him. And she is talking about how there was like some, okay, so here's a while back, I did a series of postings showing how late this September, DOJ got a series of indictments targeting Oleg Deripaska and those who facilitated his sanctions violations. We didn't see all that until months later. That's why I'm interested in the timing and venue for indictments of two men who facilitated Victor Vekselberg's alleged sanctions violations. The indictments were retained in November, but they were ruled out yesterday. So these are more people connected to this. Okay, so it's she goes through the documents. That's what she does. It's a lot of information, but the point that I want to let me actually look here. I'm gonna look up the guy because I found a post of hers about him. Okay. So look at this, guys. So this is like, so what she's saying, and I believe it. So if you remember Barr, Barr he got the job with Trump's Department of Justice, right? And right away, one of the things he did was to try to put somebody else in charge here in New York in Southern District. And then he put this guy, Seth Ducharme, in charge. He became the head person in the Eastern District. And that's where there were all these investigations into Ukraine. So what she's talking about here are these FOIA requests, Freedom of Information Act. So you can ask for the government to give you information. Okay. And this is like a lot, guys, I don't usually do this, but I think it's important for educational purposes because even I didn't know all this, right? So here it is. This is before now, this guy's name, why is this guy important again? Because he's now the lawyer of the FBI agent who is accused, who was in charge, who was working with Deripaska. So this is like we're getting the background on his attorney, which is so weird, right? So this is his name, Seth Ducharme, emails pertaining to Rudy Giuliani's disinformation. So as has been harping of late, Bill Barr and Jeffrey Rosen went to great lengths to protect Giuliani's efforts to obtain and disseminate what the intelligence community already knew was Russian-backed disinformation laundered through Andrei Derkach. That effort included the following. Not warning Judy that the intelligence community knew Russia was targeting him for an information operation before he traveled to the meeting with Kirk, prohibiting SDNY from expanding its existing investigation into Rudy's foreign influence peddling to include his efforts, by making an Eastern District a gatekeeper for such decisions. So in other words, Barr goes in and he wants to like let Rudy be the contact person, I guess, for this information coming from Ukraine before the war, of course. And so he appoints this guy, Seth Ducharme, to be the gatekeeper, to be one of his people. Okay, so now this is an article. It's going to link to an article. Let's see. Okay. So I guess this is some it's like some letter. I don't know who. Okay. Okay, I'm not even gonna read this, guys. You know, this is too much. Okay, stop. Okay, no, stop share. Okay, let's go back. So the point is that this guy is involved with Barr. He was appointed by Barr to this position in the government, and I think about a year ago or so, I think at some point in 2021, he resigns from his job, and then he goes to work for the private sector, which is very profitable, as we know. He becomes a partner at some big law firm and makes a few million at least a year. So then fast forward, this guy is indicted, and who is his attorney? This guy. So guys, it was like, it's very strange because we know, and let me, okay, I found this video. I found the video of this Mcgonigal person arrive. If you look at it's very interesting, the courtroom, and he looks very nervous. It's really interesting. So who is talking on his behalf is the attorney. Okay. So where did I find this video? Okay. So it was like, so it was random. Like I wasn't looking for a video, but okay, here it is. Oh, am I sharing? Okay, hold on. Okay. So, okay, so you see, this is him. This is the guy, the FBI. Now, this one in front of this is the attorney, the guy who was appointed by Barr, who quit and then is now a private lawyer, who then goes to represent him. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this video, it takes a while to load this, you know, nowadays. I don't know why everything takes forever to load, but the reason why I'm showing you these things is because I want you to see how nervous, obviously this guy, you know, okay, this is it. Where's the volume? Okay.
Release, entered a plea of not guilty. The government said they're going to turn over discovery in the next few weeks, which we look forward to reviewing. You know, Charlie, as you all know, Charlie's had a long, distinguished career with the FBI. He served the United States for decades. This is obviously, you know, a distressing day for Mr. Mcgonigal and his family, but we'll review the evidence, we'll closely scrutinize it, and we have a lot of confidence in Mr. Mcgonigal. So thanks, and I'm sure you can appreciate why after a day like this, he just, you know, needs to spend some time with his family. So thanks very much. Be well. DC case, you're going to start together. Would you like to say anything?
Okay, so, oh, let's stop here. So anyway, so this is the thing I want you to see, guys. So the point of this is that
spend some time with his family.
So it's kind of like, okay. Okay, so anyway, guys, so I'm going to continue. This is like, again, I need to focus, and please, you know, as I check on the thing I post. Okay, I posted about pants also. So this is it. So today specifically, I need to focus on this because it's big and it's complicated. There's a lot of different people, right? So anyway, so guys, the point that I'm making that I want to show you this is because the guy in front is the guy who was appointed by Barr, who quit to become a private lawyer, and behind him is the guy who was working for Deripaska. So guys, it's like, so I just also, and I don't want to be like a, you know, I'm not into, as you know, I'm careful not to be like a conspiracy theorist, but remember how Epstein, how like 30 minutes after we heard that Jeffrey Epstein had died, then Barr comes out and says that he had died by suicide. Which is like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, how do you know that? Like, really, especially
who was appointed by Barr.
Sorry. Especially like, you know, especially like a person, you know, with that background or whatever, right? Like, how do you know? So that's why I'm like, why would you, let's say, because guys, what happens is that so this guy he was a counterintelligence guys, I don't know why it escaped me, or if it was like had just come out and hadn't read it. But as I spent more time reading it, I was like, so the guy's the head of counterintelligence in the Russia section in New York. Like he's not like one agent or a little guy or somebody who works inside the FBI. He's the head of counter. So what is counterintelligence? Counterintelligence is when it's like you're kind of checking what the enemy is doing, like in the US, right? So you're like checking their methods or whatever. That's what I understand. You don't apparently the counterintelligence, you don't create operations. You kind of like are, kind of like more on the defensive. Right. So they were, I forgot where I saw this, that so okay, so anyway, so the point is that is that this is the background of the story. So then like when you think about it, like where he was working, and then I was reading the indictment, and the indictment, there was a lot, it's like 22-page indictment, and there's a lot of glaring, scary things. Like, for example, there was another friend of Oleg Deripaska that he invited, like he got his daughter an internship at the NYPD. So the NYPD, like, it was so glaring what he did that the NYPD officer alerted the FBI to his behavior, because he invited his Russian oligarch daughter to intern at the NYPD. And like she was saying that she was so close to him. So anyway, so it raised suspicions that he was like working at the FBI at the time. So then we have, guys, many things. We have the situation. Remember the whole thing that became like they really contributed in some ways to Trump's victory, which was the whole emails of Hillary. You remember how it came from the New York FBI, right? Like the whole thing that James Comey, he had said something about it, and then like, oh, her email, the whole like fake investigation thing, whatever it was. Like, it was very suspicious at the time. And then we also have the thing, and this woman Marcy, she thinks that he's not involved or something like that. But I do think, guys, another thing I want to talk about is that remember how I linked to it in one of the posts I made here. Let me show you this because it is also important. Okay, so let me show you this. This is like because when you start putting these things together, it's like, of course, there has to be more connection than we think. Okay, then we know, not that we think, but we don't know. So look at this. Okay, so this is the famous article from the New York Times, 2000, I think 2016 it was. Here, when is this? Oh, that's right. October 31st, 2016, and the election's November. He says, investigating Donald Trump, FBI sees no clear link to Russia. So somebody in the FBI, it was probably a source. We used to think like, oh, come on, this is bullshit, which is definitely bullshit. But now we thought that it was like, oh, it was probably Maggie Haberman, right? No, it wasn't even her. But then, they said somebody in the FBI told them that there's no link, right? And now comes this guy who was working for an oligarch. So it's like, it starts to make more sense, like, because I think the counterintelligence division would be the one to be investigating these things if there's a connection to Russia. So then we have, you know what I mean? Like, we have this guy who is okay. Okay, let's see now. I want to go back to, okay, let's see here. This is not going to play. Okay, I'm going to go back to the New York Washington Post article just because of the photos. I just want to go back here to this. Okay, this image. So oh my God, look at the guys, and the whole body language analysis, how he was talking with his mouth was like this. They say when someone talks with their mouth, like from the side of their mouth, how bad it is. So there's the guy like talking like this. And this is now what's interesting is that he looks really devastated and terrified. But come on, you were investigating Russia and you should have known better. Like out of all the people, he knows exactly how bad it is because that was his job, was to investigate Russia. Now he goes work for the guy he was investigating. While it was not after he retired in 2018, but while he was there, he already he got himself a fake bank account while he was working at the FBI. He accepted payments from some like random Albanian person. He created investigations in the FBI to because basically somebody from was connected to like some a president of Albania, foreign president, like had him, paid him money, and then he opens an investigation into some Albanian person here to benefit the Albanian guy there. Like, how bad is that? Like, how bad is that? It's like terrible, terrible. So, and this whole bit, like, who knows if the guy could very well be also some kind of like Russian asset. We don't know. But the point is, like, of course, you were like working for, and he looks so devastated, so heartbroken. But then when you connect the fact that this guy here is somebody who Barr appointed, who helped Rudy, kind of like another place I read, guys, who said that like he may have been one of the people who prevented them from investigating Roger Stone. So how, so then guys, the scary part for me becomes also, how come we have a person like this is the guy, so he committed these crimes. And then, but the problem is, and this is the thing that I have to explain all this to you before I, even get started. The problem is that what if, so he pled not guilty, and I went back, and we know that there are other very famous cases of people who worked in the intelligence community who were guilty, was Aldrich Ames in CIA and Robert Hansen in the FBI. So in both cases, they ended up pleading guilty because are they going to go on a trial? Like the government has evidence, right? So they're not going to go on some trial. They pled guilty, but what if so right now he's pleading not guilty. So what if he decides to plead guilty? That means he's going to have to talk. You do that when you have a deal. We cut a deal with the government and you talk. But this guy who's clearly on Russia's side, so, looks very suspicious, right? To put it mildly. He goes and he's his lawyer. So like, it's a very awkward situation. You know what I mean? It's awkward. So it's almost like the fact that your attorney is like one of Barr's people, to me, is worse. It's almost like an admission that you're guilty. Because why don't you think, guys, if you're like in it, and it's almost like a way for like whoever this guy is connected to, like, oh, he is almost like a policeman, like letting him know, like, whatever you say, I'm gonna tell, like, he's sharing the story of whatever, it's coming out of, it's not, in other words, it's not private. You know what I mean? So sorry, I might not see the comments. I was not looking at the comments. So can you imagine? Can you imagine, guys? Like, okay, so I'm not married. I'm not gonna ask about your dad right now, just because, like, I do have to, like, we have to find out first what the story is, and then we can ask maybe. But I'm sorry. I'm like, right now, I just need to focus, because as you know, when we look at the other side, it's just like, it's like this right now is a time, like, it's a lot of information. Okay, so maybe later, maybe next time. But so don't you? It's like, so guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, isn't it? It's very disturbing, I guess is a word. Very disturbing. And then like, so what, it's okay. Yeah, next time. So first, let's find out the story. So like, so the guy, and someone posted, I forgot where, like, oh, look at him, he's devastated. It's like, really? Are you really devastated? He's devastated. Oh, he's so devastated. Charles Mcgonigal. He's devastated, really? Because he was caught. That's why he was devastated. Like, how could you be devastated? Like, guys, imagine, and then, so I have so many questions now. I have so many questions because now I want to know, like, obviously, don't you think there's a big number? It's not the only one. Don't you think? He can't be the only one. Don't you think? He can't be the only one. Who knows who's involved? I don't think he's alone. He's obviously not alone, this guy Charles. So right, Katie says, well, you don't know, but I feel like, Katie, like it's, and again, thank you for, bringing it up, but it's coming together, you know what I mean? It is scary when you stop and think that this is the person who is probably even saying like, oh no, Trump is not involved with Russia, right? So was calling journalists and say, oh no, there's no involvement. We did the investigation. So my question is, I mean, I have no doubts, guys. I have no doubt. Oh, they said that they're forfeiting the money already on the indictment. I'm sure they froze the money already. So, and that's another question. Like, guys, this guy who was like hired as attorney, it must be expensive. Who's paying the bill for the attorney? That's what, even more like somebody's paying the guy's bill. Somebody's paying that bill. Don't you think? Because by now the money's frozen. How's he going to pay the attorney? An expensive attorney this guy is, right? Very expensive attorney. How do you have the money to pay for this attorney? Right? It's like, so my question is, guys, first of all, like, what is he going to talk? Because that's the thing. I'm sorry. I know it's like everybody's, innocent until proven guilty, but I'm sorry. Like, I don't think this is not how I believe it. I believe the government. Okay. So basically my question is, what's going on with this guy? Like, how's Charles feeling right now? Why did, because guys, if I were him, I would be scared more, like, because now, like, your attorney is basically like telling, don't you think the attorney is like the one telling, hey, Oleg, this is what he is talking about. This is why we discuss with the prosecutor. You know what I mean? Don't you think this is, because I think this is the purpose of having that kind of attorney. But then what if, and this is the thing, historically, it always happens, that he's going to have to plead guilty, and in order for them to accept the guilty plea, he's going to have to tell everything he knows. And that is the question. Okay. And that is the question, like, is he, because don't you think, guys, it's like, it's kind of like now you have your attorney who's like basically writing out everything to the oligarch, probably, right? Somehow, or to an associate or whatever. So that's right. Let's talk with this part. Exactly. So what is going on? What is this guy Charles going to do? Because we know what happened, guys. I'm not saying like, but we know Barr, and the last time Barr was involved with somebody, the guy died, right? Like Epstein. Oh, so, and I could totally see, you know what I mean? This guy, I'm like, So what's going to happen? You know what I mean? So like, what's going to happen? So what's going to happen? And then, like, guys, and it's like, and then you see, like, the whole point, guys, the thing with Barr is that, don't you think he totally went into the government? The whole point is for him to block the Mueller report, right? That's the thing that he realized. Like, I don't think he cared about the Trump 2020. No, right? It's more like he needs to protect the whatever. So what's happening with this guy Charles? And is he going to rat out other people? Because, guys, don't you think there's no way that he's the only one? There is no way in hell. And he must know who the people are that are telling the press, oh, no, Trump, he has nothing to do with Russia. FBI cleared him. So, okay, let's say I like to ask for protection before light coming into my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs a bit out, greater circle, step into for protected. And I like that to ask the information. Come only from the higher sources that create the good, not only good. So that's okay. Okay, so tell me about this guy, Charles. So, guys, the indictment, okay, and let me show you, because it's the indictment explains the moment when he was arrested, which was very interesting. So he comes, so then he, okay, so let me show you. And if it's okay, right, guys, if I share it all again, because it's even for, it's pretty complicated, all the information, all the people. So it's important to read these things together so that we okay. So, okay. So the story is that it explains, right? So there's another guy, his name is Sergei Shestakov. So another thing that I don't understand, honestly. So this guy is you're going to be here. This Shestakov guy. So his whole life, his whole life. He worked for the Russian embassy here in New York. And then he retires here in New York. He gets retired from the government working for the Russian, whatever. He gets a job in the New York courts, being a translator. And it's like, I'm sorry, is there a way that we can like not get people who are basically Russian spies to work as translators in the US court system? Like, don't you think, how the hell does it happen that a person who works, I mean, I know it's not, but doesn't pay very well, but that's not the point. The point is like this guy again, just like this, this Ducharme, whatever. Like, what if there's a person, for example, let's say if there's a person who's like, there's a case of a Russian or whatever that was arrested by the US government working for whatever. He's gonna be like, hey, Moscow, I'm working on this case where the person, like, you know what I mean? Like, how is that possible that we hire these people even? That is so okay. So this case is a violation of sanctions, right? So okay. Okay. During his FBI career, worked in Russian counterintelligence, organized crime matters, blah, blah. Oh my God. Beginning 2016. And by the way, he was appointed by Comey. That's another question. Does Comey know? Because guys, to be honest with you, I'm just like, I never, remember how there was a moment where Comey was the good guy, remember? And then he stopped. He wrote the book, remember? And then we never hear from him again. I think somebody got, and then I remember that he made some statement and he sounded very strange. It was some statement about like, oh, the Democrats are like this, or you could tell there was like a canned statement. It was like made him sound like he was, he's always been Republican, right? But there was something weird about it. Like, I think they had dirt on him too, and then he kind of had to change. So my question is also like, did Comey know about him? Because it sounds like, there's something there. Like, I don't, especially if you're the head of the FBI, right? Wasn't he the head of the FBI? I think he was. Why can't you like investigate? You know what I mean? Like, it's weird that when the whole thing happened with Hillary, like that was it. Nothing else happened. Like, okay, so all right, so Mcgonigal, while acting as CS special agents in charge, received a then classified list of Russian oligarchs who close ties to Kremlin who would be considered for sanctions to be imposed as a result of Russia's conflict with Ukraine. So then he is. It served as a translator and diplomat, blah, blah, blah. After his retirement, Shestakov continued to work in New York City and maintain residence in Connecticut. Among other employment, Shestakov worked as an interpreter for the federal courts and United States Attorney's Office in the Southern and Eastern District. Okay, so let's see. I'm not gonna get into this, but I just wanted to tell you talks about the executive order. Oh, it is. In or about the spring or summer 2018, Shestakov and asked Mcgonigal to help Agent 1 obtain an internship with the New York City Police Department for Agent 1's daughter in the fields of counterterrorism, intelligence gathering, and international liaison or something. Mcgonigal agreed to help and requested assistance from a contact in the NYPD, telling the contact, I have an interest in her father for a number of reasons. Mcgonigal also informed an FBI supervisor who worked for Mcgonigal that Mcgonigal wanted to recruit Agent 1, who was, according to Mcgonigal, a Russian intelligence officer. So he knows the guy is a Russian intelligence officer. He gets an internship for his daughter at the NYPD, knowing the guy's okay. Agent 1's daughter received VIP treatment from the NYPD. An NYPD sergeant assigned to brief Agent 1's daughter subsequently reported the event to the NYPD and FBI because, among other reasons, Agent 1's daughter claimed to have an unusually close relationship to an FBI agent who had given her access to confidential FBI files, and it was unusual for a college student to receive such special treatment from the NYPD and FBI. Like, hello. So, okay, so So this part talks about how this Mcgonigal guy, after he retires, he goes to Vienna and meets with with Deripaska in person. He meets with him in person. Like what could go wrong? Like when you're the guy investigating him, like you're retired and you go meet him. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Okay, so let me stop share here. Okay. And so it's kind of like, okay, so anyway, so this is the information. So my question is, okay, so like first let me like, no, not even Honey Pot, Josephina. She is a daughter of the intelligence officer. It's like, no, honey, usually Honey Pot is like when it's a woman that is very attractive and she's interested in you. I mean, even Maria Butina, who she was not honestly that attractive, she was just young and kind of naked or whatever. Like that's honeypot, is when you don't, and it's not overt. But the fact that if you know the person, her dad is a Russian intelligence officer, right? Like it's, you know what I mean? It's different, right? It's like you already know. A honeypot, there's this idea that the person may not know. In this case, he knows. He told so okay. So all right. So let me go back here. So let me ask this. So what's going on with this guy Charles? And what does he know? And is he gonna talk? And okay, so what does he know? No, it's saying that it's just the beginning, because the fact, guys, imagine how much this guy knows. How much he knows about everything. He was the head of counterintelligence. Like he must know a lot. Even if, you know what I mean, they'd say that Deripaska met him because it was just the beginning of a relationship. And so like the information he has is so priceless that apparently he made like 200 something thousand dollars, but it's not much, or like 25,000 a month or so. But honestly, guys, compared to like the value of the information, is not much, honestly. And his career, you know what I mean, compromising his next career, thinking that nobody catch. So okay, so then now, why? Okay, I have a question. Why wasn't he charged with espionage? Because he was charged with corruption, but not yet, at least not yet, espionage. Saying because they don't know the documents. Another thing that happened to him, guys, is that so he was investigated. Oh my God. I can't even, like, there was all these American people who were working for the US and China who started to die. And he was investigating that. That was one of the things about this guy, Mcgonigal. So it's really like, so let me ask, so what's going on? What does he know? I see that there was like a halo around him, this Mcgonigal. And it's like suddenly what is the halo? How does he, okay, what's going on? So when tell me about the moment when he was arrested. Oh, so so it said that this time back in, I think it was November it was, that the government took the like electronic or phones or something from the FBI agent and the other guy. So, and then he was arrested recently. It was last week, I think, when he was coming back from Sri Lanka. It's like, what were you doing in Sri Lanka? It's kind of like, I'm sure, it's not like you can say, oh, I just went to Moscow or whatever whoever he went to, like random countries to like meet up with these people, whatever. Like, did he, first, so in other words, I think he's known that he was under investigation since November. And yet he continued to travel, continued to do things. So what's going on with him? What's going on with him? saying, guys, that he was interviewed, right? And it's like, of course he knows, because he used to be the person who would interview people. And he acted like there was nothing wrong, like, oh no, I'm just working, I'm just doing this. And like he denied, I think he lied about certain things. And he's like, it's kind of saying that once you do something like this, it's like treason right away. And it's kind of like, guys, I want to say something horrible, but it's sort of like, imagine your job is to protect children, you're a pedophile. Like, it's kind of like you're protecting the country from this foreign country people. And in fact, you're like helping them screw over the country. You know what I mean? That's essentially what you're doing. It's really, really very bad. So it's saying that in order for your mind work, the way that the mind of somebody like that works, once you flip, you have to kind of like create I don't know, you can't be like, oh yeah, that's right, I effed up. You kind of create a narrative. Like, you can't, it's almost like you have to create a narrative even for yourself, that you're not doing anything wrong, that it's because, it's very hard for the mind. The term cognitive dissonance. So it's like, you can't be wrong. There's always an excuse. There's something, right? So, but let me ask you. So what about, but guys, the fact that he, like, if it was me, someone's like, oh, go, I'm like a head of counterintelligence, and someone's like, hey, Rosie, can you get me my daughter? Like, I'm a Russian agent, right? Can you get my daughter a job at the NYPD? I'm like, listen, it's kind of too much, don't you think? I think it's a bit much to do that. Like, don't you think? I'll be like, listen, it's like too overt. Like, don't you think? So I have this question, like, so why were you doing this? Did you not notice? Like, he was saying that he was afraid to say no. That's right. Once you're under the spell, not under the spell, once you're like, does it make sense? Once you're like, once it kind of crosses the line, guys, it's like, there's no, he's afraid that they will be like, now they're going to tell, they're going to say something, they're going to write, they're going to do something or say something, and they're going to expose me. So now, so that's why also he wanted to retire, because he was afraid he was going to be exposed. This, guys, can you imagine? So can you imagine, like, being in that position? So he retires because that's right. So he thought, okay, so then I have this money, at least I leave. And then, okay, so now my question is, so now let's go to, okay, so tell me about Comey. What does Comey know? Like, okay, tell me about Comey. Does Comey not know? It's saying that Comey, like, this whole thing happened after, like, so Comey was the head of the FBI, right? And then like, there was like, he met, oh, that's right, he guys, he gave him the job. He gave the guy the job. There was something a little off about him, but he didn't quite, like, it's the same thing of cognitive dissonance. He was suspicious, and guys know it's saying, but I think Comey knew that okay, you know what? Okay, I get it, that it's dangerous, but you should have, especially if you're the head of the FBI, you should have ordered immediately a review of those people. How come they were allowed? This is the thing that I don't get. Like, if I have that job, right? I don't know anything about that job. I don't know how you do that job. I know it's very complicated, very sensitive. But the moment I suspect or somebody, I have to order an investigation. Like, if I had a job, A, I would award an investigation, and B, I would even expect investigations to happen all the time because of how sensitive the thing is. But the fact that I do think, guys, not that okay, I think there was something that he suspected. Honestly, Comey, tell me about Comey. What did he know? And guys, I forgot, but did Comey was Trump the one who would have appointed him, or was he there before? Oh, I remember how he said, like, I have to re-interview for the job. Remember? So he got the job. Okay, so not doing exactly. So tell me about Comey, and like, what did he know about him? Did he know anything about him? Or maybe he didn't know anything about him. Okay, so tell me. Okay, so wait, hold on. Guys, it's raining a lot over here, by the way. I hear them. Okay, so all right, let's see. Okay, one sec. Okay, so money. Mhm. News of gift. So oh, that's right. He was before, but still, guys, I feel like there was something suspicious about the finances. Okay. So, all right. So, okay. So now I get it. Okay. But let's put aside, it's not, necessarily like Comey's fault or whatever, but now let's go to Barr. So he quits, guys. He retires, before he retires in 2018. So tell me now that he retires in 2018. So what does he know about Barr? And because guys, now let's talk about this guy, Seth Ducharme. So again, let me actually just to show you again, I found this article that at the time when he was appointed, it was already like was considered very okay, so here is why Barr's pick for Brooklyn prosecutor faces scrutiny from all sides. Seth Ducharme returns to Brooklyn as U.S. attorney after serving a Justice Department that faced criticism of increased politicization. So again, this is him when he was appointed, when he got the job. And like, guys, the crooked mouth, something about it just seems kind of, I don't know. I wish I could be like, oh no, maybe he's just trying to do the right thing, but you know how that is, right? So, okay, so then when Attorney General Barr announced a new top federal prosecutor in Brooklyn this month, it was a promotion for one of his closest advisors in Washington. His choice, Seth Ducharme, was not a purely political appointee. He spent most of his career in Brooklyn prosecuting terrorists and violent gangs, earning a sterling reputation among many law enforcement officers and defense lawyers. So, okay. So then, and then guys, I was reading the comments, and they're like, oh yeah, sure, this guy is just like, remember how when Barr first got the job, he was talking like he cared. And now we know this story, this is saying the same things. So, okay, so this is why. So, people have a lot of really good things to say about him in general, but it is strange that he was one. So another thing that, okay. Another thing he did, again, it's a lot of information, but Ducharme, and then what was the name of the guy? It was Durham. Okay. So then let's go back to the other thing. That this is going back to this one empty wheel. And so again, go back to the FOIA that she had the email. So she found these emails that okay. Okay, so then he had a keyboard and setting up the spec. So remember that what the Durham investigation was, that we had the Mueller report. What happened? Barr came in and basically like gaslighted the entire public, saying that there was nothing there, and at the same time set up this parallel investigation to say that it was a Democrat. Remember, like, oh no, it was the Democrats. It was like it, and the prosecutor that he created a new special counsel was the guy Durham. And so Seth Ducharme was the guy that was the go-to guy, his main person, number two, I guess. So that's why we go back to, so in other words, this guy Seth Ducharme is clearly involved in like gaslighting he is covering up for Russia somehow, whether it's because of he worked in other words, in the best case scenario, he's okay, like you can't pretend. Okay. So anyway, so let's go back here, because now the question becomes, so why is Seth Ducharme representing him? I mean, we know that, but I want to know what the cards say and what is the interest here in like why is Seth Ducharme representing him? What's going to happen? Because guys, again, if the guy decides to plead guilty, he's going to have to get a new attorney, because there's no way that he's going to be telling everything he knows to this guy who works for a Russian oligarch. You know what I mean? So as long as he has this guy Seth Ducharme, he is not going to tell what he knows, because the interest of Seth Ducharme is to keep it hidden. It's kind of like, it's the same thing with what's his name, Epstein or whatever, right? Like, if you want to like tell the truth about everything you can't tell it to the person who works for, you know what I mean? So so what's happening between him and Seth Ducharme, and what is the outcome here for their relationship? Oh guys, I got some bad cards, huh? Oh, the devil. So the essence is the devil. Okay, heart, the values. So the reason of their relationship is to hide the devilish actions. Okay, and then what is the reason for the question? Okay, so what is the core of the question here? So this is the situation. What is the question? Painful, guys. Look, the guy with the sword. Painful ending. And I'm sorry to say, letter. It's saying the letter creates painful ending. Saying painful ending could be for Ducharme himself or the entire group, exposing, like, because it's getting closer, clearly. Okay, and then now the next part of the question is, how does Charles Mcgonigal feel about Seth Ducharme being his attorney? Truth is revealed. Okay. Treachery, revealing the treachery. But I get the sense, guys, almost like he needs the permission for like, what can I say? Okay, and then things that are hidden elements that are going to play a role. The world, something foreign, the foreign organization going to play a role in the outcome. So what is the answer to the question? Okay, quid pro quo. So it could be that the relationship is he's paying for the bills. He's paying the bills. Interesting. So the money, this is a quid pro quo, right? So debts essentially, or somebody is paying for him for something. And this is the obstacle, and also could be the sanctions, the blocked money. Okay, and then, okay, now this is the outcome, childhood or past. Answer. So okay, so very interesting. Okay, so then, so the past is gonna, so guys, it suggests that he's gonna say what is Charles gonna tell the truth? He's gonna tell the government everything he knows. Is he gonna tell the government what he knows? Okay, hidden, right, that's right, for a long time. Is he gonna tell the government what he knows? Ration. The basis, interesting. So now this is interesting, guys. This sometimes suggests legal movements and this side. So aggressive legal movements, it suggests two things: either that Charles himself he feels like there's some kind of death threat or something, or that the government is being very aggressive towards him. So that's the reason. Okay, so again, the question is it gonna tell all? Now, how does he feel? He's in a tight spot. Okay, and then elements that we don't know. Oh, there's a lot of hidden stuff that's going to happen, but it's going to come out. Okay, the transition of time. Then what's he going to say? Money, interesting. He was in okay. So he's okay. Then what is the outcome? Okay, that's right. So the lady could even, sometimes they say, if you don't say something, I'm gonna get your wife, which is fair. Okay, so So that's right. So under pressure, he's gonna crack under pressure. Okay. So now, guys, the question. Okay, so I guess. Okay, and guys. Okay, do you mind that I'm like, as you know, I like to get to the bottom thing. So now the question is this guy going to reveal? Because I feel like we're getting closer and closer to like who in the government, especially the Trump administration, was involved with Russians. Is he gonna tell? Like, is this the beginning? And how? Okay, let me pause. No, let me ask about Barr. So how does Barr feel about this? Because Barr is the no, don't you think he's the one? So how does Barr feel about this? And I see him. He has like a bar cart, one of those with alcohol. He's drinking whiskey. He's like, we have to get out. Okay, so okay, so tell me. Okay, so tell me here. How do you feel? Does Charles Mcgonigal know something about Barr? That's right. Saying suggestions. So okay, so what does Barr feel about this? And okay, so is he? And it's saying that yes, like it's saying it's very uncomfortable, for the intelligence community, because finally we're getting, and it's saying just like us, but it feels worse for them. It rings true. It explains a lot of things for them that they didn't quite get. But for the people that are in the government and we're working for Russia, that makes them feel very uncomfortable because now it's getting close. So, okay. All right. So how does Barr feel about it? So that's right. So how does Barr feel about it? They're working together. With people. Karma, he knows coming. Karma's coming for him. Oh no. Painful. It's painful because karma, it's coming. He feels it. Oh, it's over. It's over. Oh no, death. Guys, it doesn't necessarily mean he's gonna, there's actual death, but oh my God, it's scary. It's scary, guys. I got goosebumps. Let me show you. Look, when you have the two of them though together like this, it's kind of like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. So wow, let me see. So guys, I got goosebumps. So what is Barr gonna do something? Like, because he seemed to have a lot of, he knew a lot about what's going on with Epstein. So what's so is that for him? Okay, tell me more about the Barr thing. So how does he okay? Oh, he's afraid because that's right. He knows this is a tower so that he could turn everything down. He could signal the end. For the money. That's right. The money. You're gonna find his money. And I see guys just throwing things that he's alone, his house, his wife is really worried about him. He's like, how's it going? Oh, he's just throwing things. Okay, so then 5 card 4. Okay, behind the scenes. Stress and corruption. That's right. It's coming out. He's in a weak position. Okay. Wow, interesting. That's right. That's right. So, guys, okay, so wow. Okay, that's right. Okay, and then the next question is, what, guys, we know that we have asked on and off, but what is it about the Mueller? Because I think the whole point, it seems that the number one focus of Barr is to hide the Mueller report. So what is it about the Mueller report? And okay, this guy Charles knows something about the Mueller report because he knew. It's saying that he was, I feel like when there was an overlap between Mueller and him at some point, this guy Charles. So what is it about the Mueller report that they're so scared of? Like, what is he so scared of? He's like, he's the kind of like thinks that he's in it. Or that like the money, that's right. There's something about the law firms, the money laundering. So, all right. So, okay. So what is he gonna, do something about this guy, Charles? Is like, no, it's like, I sent Seth. Oh, guys, it says that the guy is like, when he went to talk to, because, when you talk to this attorney, you have an attorney, you have something called attorney-client privilege. So When you have that, you can share the information. And then the attorney is saying to him, oh, our friend is very sorry about what's happening, and he's sending me to help you out. So that's the story. And Barr is like, essentially, they have to make sure he doesn't talk. He's have to make sure he doesn't talk. That's what he's saying to the guy. And this guy, Charles, knows that, of course, that the guy is connected to Russia. So, oh my God. So what happens next? What does Charles talk about? What happens next after this Charles guy? Okay, fighting, factions. Okay, look, foreign. Okay, the fortunes. That's right, the money. Opportunity, foreign opportunity. Guys, but isn't it interesting that it had to be, we have to have a new aggression. We have to have a new person in the DOJ in order for this to happen. Secret. Now, foreign opportunities that are secret. He said he talks about all of it. And what they wanted, say here, public now meetings. This is the thing interesting. Now, I even wonder if like this is a part of the law, legal. If he meets, okay, this is financial. That's right, financial guilt. Okay, talk. That's it. He's gonna talk. Oh yeah. I mean, what alternatives does he really have? Oh, now see, this is the thing. Keep things as they are, but he's gonna have to talk. So what happens to guys? Okay, now is Barr? Are we close to exposing Barr? So what is? Let me ask this: when all of this is said and done, is Barr going to be exposed? I think we have no. So is Barr going to be exposed? When is Barr going to be exposed? When it's all said and done. Okay, soon. Wow. Okay, interesting. Clouds. Soon, something hidden. Okay. Then next is disappointment. Okay. Government. So we're gonna have to move on. Okay. This is the beginning of. Is it really, guys? Because okay. So Jack Smith has two things. One is the election. He's investigating Trump, right? So Trump and the 2020. I don't think this is about Jack Smith. I think it's about the DOJ. Because does it make sense, guys? I think it's like, I don't think it's about Jack Smith. Okay, so in other words, there's disappointment. I think this is in the so-called deep state or the government intelligence agencies. Now we have here, how do they feel? Victory. Now are they finally getting to look at it? The world. This is big. Okay, look, deal to start to expose the world. Okay, 4 or 5. Asserting himself. Okay. That's right. It's gonna come out. Okay, money. That's it. Money and what they wanted. So okay, guys, so really, like, I think Jack Smith he's not doing everything, right? He has a limited scope. Let me ask, how did they start investigating this guy? Oh, because okay, so what happens, guys, is that remember how last year, I think it was, they indicted some people close to Oleg Deripaska because he had hired them to, like, remember the story that to like get the girlfriend to give birth here, remember? So they've been investigating Oleg Deripaska for a while and people close to Oleg Deripaska, and then this FBI agent came up. So I don't think it's really necessarily related to Jack Smith. Okay, so it's just more, guys, it goes to show how many Russians exist in the government, or you know what I mean? Think about it. A lot of them, right? Like, right? Don't you think? It's like everywhere you look, it seems like, right? So, all right. So tell me about this. Because, and the other thing, guys, that they covered up for Rudy Giuliani, who we know is a joke, but he was close. He would go to Ukraine and get this information and share here about either Hunter Biden or like basically against us, and like basically Barr was helping spread these Russian conspiracies, right? That's right. It's like we have to defend them. I still feel like, and this is consistent with other things I saw about Barr in the past, that he is defending the powerful and the whole, so his whole thing is like, damn it, the thing has to go, it has to go away. It has to go away, he's saying, okay. So what is the outcome of this? Guys, and this person, Deripaska is the guy who hired Manafort. So he's technically the person responsible for the Trump election. Changes related to election. Here it is, judgment. So money, it could be that Deripaska is the person who is the main financier for the GOP or the American elections or whatever, or what have you. So tell me, guys, I have another question. So tell me more about, okay, sorry, how am I doing this? I don't know why I do this. Why did I put makeup? Guys, I don't know why. Is it to keep it lighter? But I'm looking a little pale. This color is not so good. So I don't know why. Okay, so let's continue here. So tell me more. I do see that there's gonna be guys, 3 or 4 people more from the FBI that are gonna go down for this. It's just a beginning. Because okay, let's say that you and I work at the FBI with this guy for some reason. So then you work with this guy, and like, I'm sure you probably would think that even the guy from the NYPD who does not work with him, who was not in the FBI, alerted them to it. He must have shown other behavior that was scary before. That's right. So okay, so it's just like, it's saying that. And guys, I close my eyes, and then the whole thing. We know the whole thing with the Mitch McConnell, because Deripaska is the guy who bought the steel plants. The whole thing is that he's like some kind of aluminum person. He has aluminum businesses or something. And like another person, guys, never ends. We have to talk about it next time. Mnuchin. Remember how Mnuchin was the guy who tried to get him? Remember? Get him. Do you think Mnuchin was like, oh, I'm sure he did it for free, right? Out of the kindness of his heart. Mnuchin did. Oh God, okay. Let's see here, 1 second. Okay, let's see. Let's look it up. Like Mnuchin, Deripaska. Like, seriously, come on. Okay, so this is from 2019. Mnuchin to brief lawmakers on easing sanctions against Putin ally. The notice comes the day after 7 Democratic House chairman sent Treasury Secretary Mnuchin a letter asking him to, quote, to explain the easing of sanctions on businesses tied to Russian oligarch Oleg Deripaska. So it's like, come on. So it's like, come on, really? It's almost like, because if you think about it, really, if you go to the beginning, the fact that Deripaska is the guy who basically bankrolled Manafort, and Manafort is the guy who got Trump the presidency, right? In a way or another, who gave Russians voter data, right? And then you have like everybody in the government. Oh no, don't punish him, please. Help him out. Like, what is the interest here? You know what I mean? There's no way. There is no good way of looking at it. Okay. Right. So there's no way. No, there's no under no circumstance could this be a positive, thing. So, okay, so tell me, how's Mnuchin feeling right now? It's like this. It's like, right. So, and guys, how he had a fund. He said something like, and I get the sense that he's like, they're gonna look at who's funding him, and like, guys, the thing about Mnuchin is that his dad. This is the thing. I honestly, I don't get it really. So his dad was a very famous partner at Goldman Sachs, and so he got a job at Goldman Sachs after college. Mnuchin did. And so he's like a kind of a person who's like, had a silver, all the doors were open for him. He had the top jobs in finance. And like, why, he's the kind of person who didn't really need this, right? Like he didn't need this. And then he decided that he wasn't going to go with criminals, right? He decided that like, oh, it's not enough that I have like the blue chip finance jobs that I wanted. I need to like I really don't get it. Like, why would you do that? It's telling me greed, that he wanted more money. And he thought that like, oh, whatever, whatever, I could just do whatever I want. I'm like, it was too boring for him, traditional finance. He had to do something more illegal. So anyways, so he didn't believe it, guys. That's right. He was exactly. That's right. He was working. So it's saying, guys, and then I see this image and I close my eyes. I see here that Deripaska is the, what's the image of the puppet master. He, Putin was there, being the Russian president, whatever. But Deripaska is the guy who was basically handling the day-to-day operations. Because it's saying that and I've read, you know about this, and I've read these books about the Russian system and like how they use businessmen. Like, if you want to be a powerful person there, you have to do what Putin asks. You don't have a choice. I'm not saying that Deripaska is an innocent person, but I'm just saying that one of the reasons why he remains powerful is because he did the jobs that Putin asked. He right. So okay. So how close, guys? Are we really gonna get to the bottom of this? It's guys. It's saying something good. It's saying something that like that Merrick Garland did, because guys, remember how Merrick Garland set up this part of the DOJ, something called kleptocracy investigations. I forgot the name. There's a kleptocracy thing. It's somehow related to Ukraine, like how they want to capture this money that was taken, right? To then give it to something like that. So it's saying that it's part of this. They have to find the money. Like, what is the money? Like, who works for them? What are their bank accounts? How do they transfer money? So it's like, if you basically like set up a net to get every connection, every person who works for Deripaska, every bank account, like then you're gonna eventually find. And that's what then they're like, all the people, and I see Barr, I see Mnuchin, they're all feeling the pain because they're connected to him. That's right. So guys, today was it a lot today? But it was intense, but it was good. So what's gonna happen to this guy? This should go back to Charles. No, he's gonna go to prison. I see he's wearing a uniform, but could he get but guys, I don't feel like he's gonna get a, witness protection because he's done something very bad. He just needs, but I think he's afraid, but like at the same time, it's like, I mean, I don't feel bad for him. And just like, I feel like he's gonna talk. He's definitely gonna talk. He still is gonna have to. I mean, his life is over, really. But then he should have thought about that when he did it, right? When he shared everything he knew. So are we close? Because this is, guys, it's almost like this is almost like the most. It's almost like the most important part, because if this person can go to prison, then we have progress, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, once we start, because it's not just Trump, as we know, it's the whole Russia connection. That's the thing they're trying to hide. right? That's it. They're trying to hide the masters, the puppet masters. So, oh my God, it's not, guys, very interesting. So okay. So no, I see, and I ask here, I see Barr and Mnuchin. I'm like, are they gonna get away with this? And then I see fire underneath their feet. So things are burning. It's getting closer to them, and they're like, it's getting uncomfortable. Because then I see Mnuchin trying to call somebody, and he's like, oh my God, is somebody like listening in? Maybe they are listening in, maybe this and that. So, wow. Can you imagine? So this, guys, so I had mentioned indeed, what's his name? Pence and the documents. But you know what? Let's talk about it on Friday, okay? Because it's already 9:04. Let's talk about it on Friday. But I just wanted to make today just about the situation. So was it clear? I don't know. I almost feel like there's more to talk about, but was it clear? I think it was clear, but it's just kind of like it never ends, right? But I think we're getting, that was my feeling, when I was reading all these things, I'm like, finally, we're getting closer to like what really happened in 2016 and why, because the other thing, guys, this guy had a job, his job was cyber. He was the head of some kind of cybersecurity thing. Before he took the top job, he was doing cyber. So imagine if they were trying to like get into the American electoral system. Like he would know, because that was his job. He wouldn't know what's going on. So we just have to go back to 2016. And guys, if one person starts talking, you know what I mean? Like eventually it's gonna come out. So my God, can you imagine, guys? No, really, can you imagine? So that's it. That's a story. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Okay. So wow, more that's right, more tentacles. But I think we're closer, because again, guys, if it just stops with Trump, it's not enough. There has to be, it's more. There's more to the story, a lot more. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm truly gonna go. It's 9:06 now, so I'm gonna go, and but I'll talk to you Friday. Okay. We'll continue now. We'll talk about Pence then on Friday. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Love you. Okay, and have a good one. Okay, and we'll